This meeting is being recorded.
The meeting is being recorded. How about that? Okay, so hi, my name is David Walker. I'm director of the Shasta-Cascade Small Business Development Center. This meeting, as you probably just heard, is being recorded, and we'll be sending you a link to the recording and a copy of the slides at the conclusion of the meeting. It'll probably take a day or two before the recording gets rendered.
Oops. I think I muted you, David. Sorry. There we go.
Did you hear any of that, Lani?
I did not. I'm sorry. I muted it. I muted everybody, including you. So I apologize. Just trying to help out here.
Well, thanks a lot. Well, you know.
Didn't do it on purpose.
Okay. Well, okay. We'll start over, and we won't be as quick about it. This is marketing and social media. It's the second part of a series on marketing and social media. This is Marketing Month at the Shasta-Cascade Small Business Development Center. This session will be on traditional and digital marketing tactics. We are recording the session. It'll be on YouTube. We'll send you the link, and we'll send you, everybody that registered will get a copy of the slides that Lani will be showing us. A little bit about us. This may be free, but that doesn't mean you don't get to hear a commercial. We're the Shasta-Cascade Small Business Development Center. We're a nonprofit that's funded by the U.S. Small Business Administration and the state of California. So head to the next. Oh yeah, this is some of us. One of us is actually a cartoon, apparently. That's Joseph Dorco. He doesn't like to give us any pictures of himself. We don't know why. He's a handsome guy. But the bottom line is we provide free, absolutely no cost, advisory services to small businesses. We have a team of about 12 advisors here for Shasta and Trinity counties in Northern California, but there's an additional 40 or so subject matters that are available throughout Northern California. And it's not just California that has SBDCs. We're all over the country. And if you are in the United States, there is an SBDC near you. There's almost 1,000 centers located throughout the US. So we have a disclaimer that we have to read that Lani's going to pull up here. And I apologize for this. I've gotten really quick about it, but I guess it is important. The lawyers put this in. This is what happens when you get legal people involved, but it's probably a good thing, I suppose, overall. Here we go. The information provided in this webinar and any supplementary materials provided to registrants are intended for the educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute professional or financial or legal advice. No registrant should act or fail to act on the basis of any material contained in this webinar without obtaining proper financial, legal, or other professional advice specific to their situation. The Northern California Small Business Development Center and its hosts, the Humboldt State University Sponsored Programs Foundation, specifically disclaims any liability, loss, or risk, personal or otherwise, which is incurred as a consequence, directly or indirectly, of the use and application of any of the information presented in this webinar. So after reading that, those of you who are left get to hear Lani Lott, who is one of our, in fact, probably our best instructor and presenter on our staff, but just don't tell the other people I said that. If you have any questions, please in the chat. If it's appropriate at whatever time, I'll go ahead and ask Lani the questions, and we'll go from there. Lani, it's all yours.
Thanks, David, and welcome everybody. I do have a couple placeholders in there for time for questions. This is going to be a pretty robust webinar. I've got a lot of information to cover in a short period of time. Hopefully, we'll get through all of it in the 2-hour segment. If you joined us last week, David presented on really the nuts and bolts of developing your marketing strategy, identifying your primary, secondary customer or market, your unique selling position, aligning distribution channels to reach them. And today, I get to talk about the fun subject of how to put together the promotional or marketing tactics that you're going to use across your marketing strategy to get the attention of those primary customers of yours to then purchase your product, your services, contract with you. If, like in my case, as a professional consultant, we do contracts. So whatever it is to generate income for your business, this is what we're talking about today. All of those fancy, sexy ways that we get out there in the marketplace. This is me. I have my sidekick, Charlie, there. He's been with me since the start of the pandemic, and he likes to chime in. He always has 2 cents about something. He really likes when I talk about Twitter. He has a Twitter handle, so watch for that. And I do have a lot of years of experience working with small businesses across all kinds of agencies. So I love what I do. I'm really honored to be working with the Shasta-Cascade SBDC today and presenting marketing on the subject of traditional and digital marketing profiles. So today we're going to go kind of through some traditional marketing approaches, because traditional is still cool. Yes, that's your print, your business cards, maybe your old-fashioned networking, getting out and having a booth at an event. Not everything is digital. That's a balance of traditional with digital marketing tactics. And we're going to talk about some of the more popular social media platforms. Really quickly talk on a web presence, because next week, David will talk about series 3. We're going to be diving deeper into search engine optimization and web presence. And then I'm going to be talking about my favorite subject, email marketing, which I believe is one of the tools that every business should have in their marketing toolbox. And then I'll have time for questions. And this is a little joke. It's kind of blurry because, you know, if you lift it off the internet, sometimes they're not quite as clear. David does a really good job. I don't know where he gets all his cartoons. They're always clear as a bell, but it says, marketing strategy session. If you don't buy our products, we surely become very sad and probably start crying. And then on the bottom, it says, hey, we've never tried a pity strategy before. So that's just kind of a little teaser to get us going. So traditional marketing approaches, I really kind of want to touch on this because these are some of our low-hanging fruit that we can start with, and everyone should have a business card. And typically when I'm working with clients, that's the first thing is, you know, if you're going to be looking at starting a business or you're already started one, you have a business card. And that is a traditional, low-cost, low-hanging fruit. And always remember to use the back of that business card. And your business card is really kind of the window to your brand. You should have your logo, all your contact information should be correct. And our goal with business cards is to get rid of them. So the business card is a traditional marketing approach. And then we move into brochures, direct marketing, or direct mail, which we are still getting. It kind of has gone into more maybe email marketing, people dropping information about their business or their sales or their promotions into your email box. But direct mail is still out there. I still see it. I don't always have clients that want to look into it because, you know, how do you get the addresses? It can be very expensive in terms of production of the flyer, but it still does have value if that is one of the best approaches to reach your target market. I'm going to talk a little bit deeper about niche publications. Those are publications that are very specific to your industry or your area that maybe everyone in your community gets or has access to or is promoted in a regional way or a regional platform. Networking, I can't tell you if I was to ask all 20, I mean, how many are on here? 27 of you, what is the number one way that you usually get business, or if somebody contacts you? And it's always like, oh, well, word of mouth. Well, word of mouth happens because of everything that you've done up to this point. And that can be 7 different touch points or 7 different impressions, but often it's your networking, whether you're networking when you are at an association meeting, if you belong to an association or a chamber of commerce, or you're out just walking and you have your cards with you, and or you're at an event or even a personal party or a personal gathering, and there's folks talking. And I carry my business cards with me in my purse all the time, and you just never know who you're going to bump into. So networking, word of mouth comes that way. Sponsorships is another traditional approach. Sponsoring a local youth sports event, sponsoring, having an ad in one of the publications for the dance recitals, the annual dance recitals, anything that is really kind of going to get, like I often say, if you're in a business with children, like you're selling toys or classes, or you have pre-care, a care center, a childhood care center, often sometimes those kind of niche places like the little brochure that's going to be at the dance recital, or the PTA, the Parents Teacher Association, having an ad in their publication can reach your target market. Booths at events and expos, a lot of us are vending. We were prior to the pandemic. It's slowly coming back. Now we're doing hybrid, so that's still out there. Signage on your vehicles and at your shop. If you have a storefront, if you have a physical location, that is your 24/7 largest investment in marketing. So you want to make sure that your brand is strong, it is appealing, and people know when you're open. Merchandise with your brand. We see a lot of that with sales folks. I work 1 day a week at a doctor's office as a fill-in for a friend of mine, and every pharmaceutical salesman comes in and they always have the nice shirt on with their logo. They have their briefcase or their portfolio, they have a business card, they have the marketing collateral, because they're making cold calls, right? And so they have that leave behind. These are traditional approaches. Billboards are still out there. And then press releases, or what we call, the free publicity, whether it's a PSA on the radio or a press release about an award you got, you send it out to the media. Maybe they pick it up and put it into the paper. Or like in the case of this business, they participate in the Best of Nevada County, which is often, supported by the local newspaper. And then you get to have that brand, you get to use that logo, you get that banner. So this is MEC Roofing, and they are located in Nevada County, a roofing company, and they have branded and have all kinds of traditional and digital marketing approaches. And these are some of their physical pieces, their more traditional pieces. I use as just a placeholder here. So when we talk about television and radio and print, people go, oh, that's just so old-fashioned. Well, most television advertising, it's still one of the most popular medium types, with a general population spending about 4.5 hours a day on TV. Now, it's expensive, right? It can be really expensive. There are those pieces of television advertising or cable that can come across. Let's say you're at a hotel. They used to do this. I don't know if they've done it as much anymore. But then if you're on that closed network and you turn on the TV and about the hotel, often there'll be some television commercials coming across on that often businesses may want to purchase. Radio advertising is considered old-fashioned by some, but it still can be a very powerful medium. And it also is relatively cheap. The problem with both any of these type is you don't often know what the impact is, right? Did it really get listened? Did people really listen to my radio? Often when I'm talking to clients, if they're wanting to consider radio and they're doing a grand opening or an anniversary kind of promotion, I often say, well, maybe you want to do a live remote with your local radio station. And I know that Shasta County and Trinity County have some very strong community-minded radio and print newspaper advocates, and that you can meet with them, find out what their costs are, design that piece for you. So often now with radio, we're seeing a lot of new streaming like Spotify or those type. A lot of businesses are doing streaming. And then also with television, I have noticed since I've been streaming at home, because, you know, with the pandemic, a lot of us were doing that. And on some of like the streaming platforms, those commercials are not ones you see on the more, you know, ABC, CBS, more of the national platforms. And so I was like enjoying some of the commercials because they were fresh and different. And again, I don't know the cost, but if that is a way to get in front of your customer, then that would be what you would want to consider. And then print is moving more over to digital that offers additional exposure in their digital publications, whether it's a banner across the website, or it's having presence on their social media. And one of the ones that I kind of wanted to show you, I'm not advocating, I'm not promoting this, but this is one that is in the Shasta-Cascade area. I'm gonna go ahead and minimize my screen for the moment and pull up the, can you see that okay, David?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so anytime, this is Enjoy, they have print and they have digital opportunities. When you're looking at these type of traditional marketing mediums like television, like radio, like any print publications, newspapers, magazines, you want to see and look and dig deep to see how many issues a month they produce, what is their kind of demographics they're trying to hit. And so Enjoy, I pulled this up, and you have to go all the way to the bottom of their website. And then you can see here that they do 20,000 issues a month. And then—
Okay, Lani, apparently at least I'm not, maybe somebody else can chime in here, but I'm not seeing that. I'm just seeing the slide.
Oh,
Are you guys seeing a link?
it says my screen sharing is paused. Huh.
Okay.
You can't see that thing? Can you see now? Can you see my PowerPoint?
I can see your PowerPoint, yes.
Huh. Okay. Well, anyways, I guess that's strange. I don't know. Usually I just minimize it and it goes right to maybe because I'm co-host.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, I'm just gonna go ahead, and this little picture is what you would see on the large screen. There is a link right there in my PowerPoint whoops, don't want to start there. Sorry, guys. Whoop, whoop. I was bragging that I was like getting so good on these. I told David it was, you know, gonna jinx my presentation. So when you go in there, it says 95% of adults 18 to 29 read magazines. So is that your demographic? They have other information in there, and then they give you the benefits of advertising with their magazine. So these are some of the areas that you want to look at when you're considering more of these traditional print, television, radio type of mediums. And that link will take you to their site, and you can look at the print side of their advertising opportunities as well as the digital side. They have both sides there for you to go ahead and look at. So when we talk about niche collateral, you know, pieces that are created, designed, they should be professional. I often recommend for professional and service-based type of businesses, if they're going to be out networking, they're going to be making some cold calls, even just to PDF on their website as a pull-up that people can download, to really think about this piece as a leave behind, I call it. And it's a little bit more than your business card. It has a little bit more information. These are ones that I pulled out of my old-fashioned resource files, because I collect things when I'm out in the field over the years. And these are 3 types of actual physical pieces of collateral that I picked up when I was out and about. And one, of course, and this one, the tree experts, is a door hanger. We used to, recommend that maybe folks might want to do a door hanger. If they were, this is a tree expert, if they were a landscaper, if they were an electrician or a handyman. With gated communities, and it's not as easy to do that. Like in my area where I live, I'm not in a gated community, so we do often get some door hangers. Not as much as we used to, but that is one option that often those type of service-based businesses would look at. This one up here, I love this one. It's a fish. On the other side, it's an actual picture of the fish, and it was RV owners. It was a long time ago I picked that one up. And then this other one is for a graphic design company. Again, think about, is it appropriate for your investment? You're going to reach your potential customer base. Maybe you might want to create these if you're going to be at an event and you want to have something that people can take home with them, and that has your URL, your website on it, your Facebook or your social media icons. Again, it's a little bit more information about your business, and then it guides them to where they can make decisions, call for action on this piece. It should have your phone number, call us today to set your free appointment, your free estimate, whatever that call to action may be. I am a big believer in leveraging memberships in your local, regional, or state industry and business groups. Now, I'm not going to recommend anyone over the other. Your homework is to find out the benefits. What do you get for your membership? It's more than just paying the annual membership to have a listing on their directory. How are you going to leverage it? Are you going to participate in their breakfasts, or attend their meetings, or take advantage of their discounted webinars that they may do? Or even, I know for one of the chambers in the region, they offer some perks as a free ad or a free PSA with the radio. So they're really great places to also gain information about what's going on in the local and region area. If you belong to a state or a national association, I belong to the National Main Street Center, because I do downtown revitalization. It is looking at trends across the nation, providing information across the nation. At that level, often I recommend to businesses, look at those type of trade associations, not necessarily have to join, but for some of their free resources. For startup, home-based businesses, or even us mom and pops, your membership gets you out into the business world, gives you an opportunity to start to network with colleagues, and start to develop that business-to-business relationships. And then the final one I'll talk about is vending at trade shows, events, and festivals. If you've done this, it's a whole bunch of work. And it can be expensive, especially if you're going to one of the larger, more state-based, like the annual product show in Las Vegas or San Francisco. I don't even know where they hold them anymore. I know there's a bridal expo coming up in the county, and there's a lot of businesses that are looking at participating there. So again, if that's going to be, you're going to get in front of your primary or your secondary target market, come prepared. Have your booth. What's your call for action? How are you going to connect with all the folks that may walk by your booth? Are you going to capture email so you can email back to them? So really think this through. And a lot of times, you might just attend an event to network and see what your competition is doing. Maybe you're doing some market research, but if you're actually going to use this type of more traditional approach to sell product, then, bring that product with you, and your goal would be to sell out and then take orders. So think that through. And of course, any of your advisors at your SBDC can help you kind of understand how to really leverage that physical presence at a trade show and a festival. And I just put over here, this is Mount Shasta's Chamber of Commerce, and they just have a listing of the of an events that they had in 2021. I didn't go deep to find out other ones, but there's a lot, farmers markets, there's home and garden expos, there's bridal expos, there's those community-based events that promote different type of holidays or community events. So there's a whole, just in region wide, a whole long opportunity list. Okay, David, do I have any questions from this point?
I don't see any questions in the chat. Do you have any suggestions, though? I'm going to throw this one out there.
Sure.
On measuring effectiveness of these types of things?
That's a great question. Measuring effectiveness is always, what's my return on my investment, the ROI that icon we always throw around. Go into it with some idea of how you are going to measure. If you're going to vend, are you going to be a vendor at any event? How many emails did you gather? How many connections with other vendors did you make? Of course, if you're selling product, did you make any sales, and track that? Because if it's one that you want to look on a yearly basis, you kind of want to measure, how you did over the year with other events. For television, radio, it's a little harder. I'd say one thing I learned about radio is you want to call your representatives and ask them, can you give me a tear sheet of exactly when my ad was held? Same with print. Ask for a tear sheet of where your ad was. What did it look like? Did you get a bump? If you are leading people and you have a specific URL that you're using to measure, URL is a link, right, to your website or a link. And that may be something Zach might talk about next week. So you can see how many people went to that link or clicked on that URL after the ad came out, or you see a bump if you led everybody to your Facebook, or even, incorporate a promotion. Bring this ad in and to my, business, or call us within the month. Like right now, you're seeing probably, I don't know, I saw it on the television this morning on Planet Fitness, and it's 0 membership initiation and $10 a month. Good until January 14th, because January is their prime prime time to sign up new folks who want to lose that extra holiday, whatever. And so you'll see a bump in increase in your membership, increase in your calls. Measure the call of action that you've incorporated in any of those type of more traditional approaches.
Good. We do have another question, and you might be doing this later, but they're asking, can you touch on starting out with a limited marketing budget?
Oh yeah, we'll we'll touch on that. Limited, and we talked about budget last week, David did. Cost effectiveness is always, how cost effective. What can you invest in your marketing? You must, my recommendation is get a business card, do some type of leave behind flyer. Doesn't have to be expensive. You should have a web page, so invest in a domain name, your URL, and some kind of maybe free or low cost web page, because these days, if you don't have a website, you're probably not a business. Make sure that you're on Google My Business so that it pops up when people are searching on their digital, and one social media platform. And I would start there. Okay.
Okay, that's good. I think we're caught up.
Okay, let's move to the next subject. Oh, social media pop quiz. Okay, how often, and I thought I printed off these answers, but I just don't even see them in my notes here. So I guess I'm going to be guessing. I think I know the answers, but I'm going to pop quiz myself, right? How often should a business use social media? Using social media include a graphic, photo, or video with each post? Always, usually, sometimes, rarely. Well, the answer is A, always. And we'll talk more about that as we go along. Of Facebook, blogging, Twitter, and podcasting, which is the newest format for using social media in business communication? Well, if you said Twitter, you're right. Oh, yes, Twitter. And when engaging with social media, what is the best approach? Promote the product you wish to sell, promote the value of your product, promote your business, or all of the above? Well, depending on the call for action or what your post is about, it should be all of the above. Um, you know, we want to be sensitive, and I'm going to talk about this in social media in a minute on content, that we don't always want to post buy, you know, buy from me, buy this product. If you're an e-commerce based business and you're using social media to promote your website and get folks over to purchase your products and services, you'll see more of promote your product you wish to sell. But more and more, to keep attention of your social media audience, we want to kind of like balance it with the value of your product, or your employees you're welcoming back about your business. So it's kind of a blend. And I often, when we're talking about social media content, I talk about posting at least 3 times a week and creating buckets or areas for those 3 times a week to give you kind of an idea of how to develop content. And then, whoops, sorry, wrong way. Whoops, sorry, David. How often should an established business post on the business's Facebook page? And it should be at least, they say, every day. I say 4 times, 3 to 4 times a week. Okay, we all passed those with flying colors. So here is kind of a matrix of social media popularity metrics for businesses, for business to consumer. That's you, you know, your business, you're selling directly to consumers, whether the consumer is individual, whether it is, you know, a vendor. So Facebook, YouTube, believe it or not, is the most widely used social media platform in the United States. But for really promoting your business, and most often Facebook is still the king, with Instagram right behind it. Pinterest is popular with individuals. Think of that as a big old scrapbook. LinkedIn is the most popular, most effective for business to business networking. Then we have Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, and Ribbit. Now, I don't do those last 3 or 4 of those. So we're going to talk about the most popular ones that, because we could take for, you know, 8 hours to go into down the rabbit hole of each of those social media platforms. What I'm going to say is use the 1 or 2 that you know your customers are using, and you will use it. If everybody tells you, oh, you need to be on Twitter, you be on Twitter, but none of your customers are on Twitter, or you're not comfortable with Twitter, then don't, you know, think about either getting more comfortable with it, taking some courses on it, experimenting with it, or not using it at all. Nothing's worse than having a Twitter handle and nothing happens. You post once. And then it just nags at you at the back of your mind that, oh my gosh, I got to use that Twitter. Everybody said I was, but I haven't used it. And it becomes like this, you know, guilt thing. So think about the 2 that are probably going to connect with your target markets, and you will then make it a goal to be comfortable with those and use them to their highest and most effective use. Here's some terms You know, we throw these terms all around, and I try to kind of not do that. But when we're talking social media, engagement, hashtag, reach, impressions, likes or fans, followers, these are all kind of the terms that we use when we are talking about social media. So engagement are those interactions with posts. We are looking for our social media to have engagement. Somebody likes your post or your content. Somebody comments on it. Somebody shares it. The higher the engagement, the more it's going out into the social media mushroom. Hashtags are designed to organize and categorize content. Hashtags, if like hashtag, Reading. If there's a hashtag about Redding, California, and you are posting about your business being located in Redding, California, and you put hashtag Redding, California, it's going to go to that hashtag area, and then people that may go see another post that use that same hashtag will go to that hashtag. They may see your post. A lot of people search hashtags for interest. If you're in people traveling may go to, Mount Shasta, hashtag Mount Shasta. Let's learn about, Mount Shasta. And if you're a hoteler or you cater to that visitor market and you're hashtagging Mount Shasta, California, they may see your posts. They may come to your social media platform, and now they may learn more about your business and what you offer them. Reach is the number of people who see your post. Impressions is the number of times your post is seen. Likes or fans are people who like your page, and then followers are people who follow your post. Everybody who likes your page may not, or Instagram handle, may not get your post. If they're following you, it goes into their news feed, and they may see it if they are digging through it, like my husband. He is a social media person, sits on the couch. I tell him he likes it because he can ignore me and be in his phone, but he uses his social media platforms to really learn about what's going on in his industry, or he's a fine art black and white photographer, or in his hobby, or with some of his artists that he follows. And he really digs into the posts that people post. Analytics is the data that helps you track your performance of your social media. SEO is search engine optimization, and it's the process of improving the volume or quality of unpaid traffic to a website from search engines. Not going to go into this today. Next week, next Thursday, our presenter Zach is a guru on that topic, and we'll be touching on that. Story, we know what that is. And then verified is an established as an authentic account. This is just the tip of the iceberg of some of the language we use in social media. Here is a great blog from hudpost.com. It is just a really fabulous resource on all kinds of social media topics. And you can go there and learn more terms if you want to. So what are some of the basics before I jump into the specific platforms? Complete each of your profiles on any of your social media platforms to its fullest. Make sure that you have leveraged every area on that profile, whether it's adding your URL website, whether it's really expanding in the about section, whether it's your hours, whether it's a map connection. You really need to make sure that those are fully developed, completed, and all the links still work. I was talking a little earlier with David that when I am doing webinars, I am searching various region or areas for examples. I love to use examples of the area that I'm from, that I'm presenting to. And I will go to websites and try to find the links or the Facebook pages so I can pull out examples. I can't tell you how many links are broken, how many websites say Safari can't find this. or, you know, that awful visual that your domain name is up for sale. That's fine. I immediately think you're out of business. It could be that it's just broken. Maybe the third party site, like if you were on a chamber site or a visitor association site, maybe they updated their website and not all the links came over. So any place that you think you've listed your URL, your Facebook icons, go, even your own website, check them regularly, do an audit, make sure that they're working, because you may be missing out on potential sales or customers. Find the best time to post to engage your audience. In the analytics, you can always dig in and see when people were reacting to your post. Was it at 9 o'clock? Was it at 10 o'clock? A lot of mine for my personal business consulting practice are cities and towns, and I know they're not looking at them on Saturdays and Sundays because they're not there, especially if it's their, you know, municipality website or municipality email. So you want to look at the times that they are actually going to be in the office. Be consistent in posting. Actively manage your account by replying to all comments and messages. Those who are really using social media to build a following, always responding right away. You know, I have to say, I kind of am on my daughter's personal Instagram, just because, you know, she let me, and my 25-year-old, and she, you know, if they post something, they get a lot of comments. Now, you know, personal comments are different than business comments, but she responds to every single one. And I mean, I'm talking, she gets sometimes 25 comments. And she'll respond personally to every single one. It's kind of the etiquette. If you're going to have a robust social media presence, you need, and you are encouraging engagement. You're asking questions. It's a robust post. It's just engaging. People really like it. It's newsworthy. It's beautiful. It's about you reopening. It's a new product you're selling. They're going to respond to it. So you need to comment back. Thank you for, you know, checking out my product. I'd love to see you back in the store. Our hours are 10 to 5. We're so excited to be open again. You know, things like that. Let your social media personality shine. I manage about 5 different social media platforms, and I have built a personality on all of them. The way that I talk, the way that I tag people, the way that I make sure that the photo is relevant. You know, that personality and is my personality for that. And when I'm in that mindset, my personal social media personality is going to be very different than the business or the organizational personality. So you always want to be, you know, aware of that. You want to be aware that you're not crossing that platform of sharing personal stuff on your business page, that there, you know, you are not, you know, intermingling personal stuff with your business. That firewall is there for a reason for any of the social media platforms, and you want to make sure that that remains when you're posting. Okay, get off that soapbox. Let's talk about the king. Yes, we all know Facebook is the king. It is still on top of the social media platforms and reaches a larger variety of users demographically. Opened up to everyone in 2006. 71% of adults use Facebook. There's 1 billion users. People between 25 and 34 are the biggest segment of US users, but boomers, hello, are the fastest growing demographic. And it's the most popular social network in rural areas. So this is just a little snapshot of what those demographics are. I know Facebook's getting a bad rap. They all do. They're all getting a bad rap. But, you know, if you are using it for your business and you're using it to build a presence out there and to help promote your business, it still gives you strong internet presence. I'm working on a window display webinar for another client, and I tell you, I dug, because I haven't been out in the field to take pictures of window displays. I dug down into retailers' websites, and I was amazed, or their Facebook pages. I was amazed at the beautiful content they're sharing with their products displays, with their storefronts, with their hours. Because, you know, when the pandemic hit and we all closed down for a while, and we're slowly coming out of that, and we're seeing our audience, especially if you're catering to a visitor audience, digital is still how they're knowing and learning about you, that you're still open, that you're still selling products, you're now cross-promoting your website. This is Mountain Goat Kids. It's a brand new business up in Trinity County. And I just really like their their Facebook as an example. They have the chat working, they're cross-promoting community events, they have their profile totally built out. And they have their up here under here, they have their actual Facebook URL developed. That's one thing that you want to kind of remember. So what do you use what are some of the features of a Facebook page? It has the ability, Facebook shop. If you don't have if you do have a website or an e-commerce site, if you're using, you know, selling from your website, and you can use Facebook shop to help promote it and have posts that lead people to your website. Or if you want to just sell a few items, I see this for organizations that maybe have leftover merchandise from an event, or a restaurant that has t-shirts and caps and they don't want to go into full on e-commerce site. They'll use a Facebook shop to sell right from the app. Facebook Live and videos. A lot of businesses using Facebook Live to be actually doing a webinar live in their shop, or a fashion show, or welcome, you know, back to our business. Videos, you know, you can do a video, put it on Facebook. You can actually have it in YouTube too, and it kind of like is a library, and then you can use that content later, refreshing it. Videos, all of these take work, right? That's the part about social media that I'm not going to go into, is that maybe free, maybe cost effective, but you got to do the work. You got to create the content. You got to post it. You got to manage it. That's the rest of the story. Facebook stories, Facebook groups. A lot of organizations have started groups. Businesses, you can have a group. It's more of a kind of a inclusive, and you're going to use it for customers who are wanting maybe a little extra. Maybe they get a VIP preview to your annual sales. You can use it as a sounding board for new products. You can use it for polling. So groups for businesses as well as groups for individuals is one of the key things for a business feature. Of course, Facebook advertising, all of the social media platforms have a pay to play feature. Facebook Messenger gives you the ability to then respond privately to customers' questions. And then Facebook Insights. You can go into the back end of your Facebook page and see how your posts are performing, which ones have the most engagement. You can boost those posts through the advertising feature. So it is quite comprehensive. And what do you use it to what do you use Facebook for? To share educational content, inspirational posts, live videos, promote your products and services, information tailored to the interest of your followers. Like I mentioned before, think about posting, what would I post 3 times a week? There is a scheduling feature that you can do in Facebook and Instagram. It's in their business suite, which is another kind of add-on feature for Facebook pages and Instagram profiles. And you can actually schedule out. I schedule out a whole 2 weeks of post. It takes time on a Sunday. I'm thinking, okay, when am I going to post on Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Develop it, tag it, get the right content, takes a couple hours, but then it's done. But you have to kind of always be thinking about, well, what am I going to promote on Monday? Well, I'm going to promote a new product or a new service. On Wednesday, I'm going to promote something about my store. I'm going to do my video of actually showing my new window display. And then on Friday, I'm going to showcase a community activity, another business in our district, one of my employees, a nonprofit. So you're just kind of building interest, building engagement through your post. Instagram is owned by Facebook, okay? Yes. They purchased it, I don't know when they purchased it, a while back, and it is one of the most popular social platforms, especially for millennials and Generation Z. Both of my daughters, I have a daughter who's 42 and a daughter that's 26, and both of them use social media, use Instagram quite a bit. My older daughter uses it for her business, not so much personal, and my younger daughter uses it for personal. She doesn't have a business yet. So it is really it is a photo generated, it is used for pictures, for photos. That is what it's about. And it is really designed for your mobile. You can use it on your desktop now, but it's very difficult. So 1 billion people use it every month. 5 million people use Instagram stories every day. 63% of users log in at least once a day. Users spend an average of 28 minutes per day on Instagram, and a third of the most viewed stories are from businesses, okay? So this is Turtle Bay. They're an organization, that wonderful cultural center that you have in Shasta County, and they have a very robust Instagram handle, Instagram company page, profile, whatever you want to call it. And they have the ability for a business page. You can have they have their name, they have their hours, they have a link to their website, and they actually have their address. Then down here, they have highlighted and archived a lot of their more engaging posts that you can do, your stories. Once your story goes live, it's only there for 24 hours, but it goes into an archive, and then you can pull it out and have it sit along here where people can then go look at March 2021 and see what was going on. So their stories then become part of their ongoing content. You can, for your business profile or your company profile, you can have your contact information and link in your bio. Link professional Instagram account to one Facebook page. So what you post on Instagram will then post on Facebook. Yeah, it doesn't go the other way. Somebody told me it does, but I haven't been able to figure it out. So I'm still working on that. I think there's still that Facebook is trying to keep the two platforms, really separate, but it does go from Instagram over to Facebook. Now, sometimes that's not going to make sense. Hashtags are huge on Instagram. Every post that you make on Instagram should have at least 3 hashtags. Again, categorizing, helping that little visual go into that hashtag and where it may be seen by other folks, not just your followers. Instagram stories are huge, right? They are probably much more popular than a post. A little harder, takes a little more time, but they don't have to be long. They can be short snippets. You can thread them together. They do have now what we call reels, which are longer videos that have a little bit longer, and maybe if you have more detail, let's say you're doing a grand opening and you want to do a longer video, you want to string it all together, 3 minutes long. While you're there, you may want to do some stories. The thing about any of the social media platforms is you got to get the content. So if you're having the ability to do a video or take a picture because you're out on you have something going on, get all that content, take those photos, do that video, and then come back later and edit. It doesn't have to be done right there and then. I know a lot of people who that's what they do. They're able to do the video, they post it right then, and bam, it goes. I'm not that person. I need to sit down. I need to think about it. I want to make sure that I've got it clipped right, edited right. You just have to have the content. And if you are, having some kind of activity or a promotion or you're out and you see a great photo that you want to take and you forgot to take it, can't reinvent that. So just think about trying to capture some of that content every day, and then look back in maybe a couple days when you have a little time of how you're going to use it. There are shoppable posts on Instagram. Instagram has advertising. And then I don't know what this Instagram after 100 followers. I don't know what that means. I left out part of it. Anyways, I'll come back to it. And then what do you share? Of course, picturesque photos, shots showcasing your products, highlight your shop, your windows, your displays, your employees, your services. User generated content is huge on Instagram. You can do carousels. You can do images of like 7 or 8. There's lots of tools out there that give you the ability to create different kinds of posts on Instagram, not just the photo Instagram or the video Instagram. Let's see, I'm just going to see. Oh yeah, Instagram Insights. That's what's missing on that slide. I'll make sure I correct that before David sends it out. After 100 followers, then you have some limited insights. So there's only 3 components that you can look at on the insights on Instagram, and that's content, activity, and your audience. It shows what age, gender, location of followers, and the hours and days that they're most active. So that's really important. So you can kind of then judge when you want to schedule your Instagram post. Twitter was founded in 2006 and today has 1.3 billion accounts. The content that thrives on this channel is topical and concise. It is a fast moving platform. Little snippets of this and that. And it is really geared towards that. 12% of Americans get their news from this platform. 44% of Americans who use this are 18 to 24 years old, and tweets with hashtags get 100% more engagement. I do not use Twitter for my business. I know a lot of businesses that use Twitter. They're comfortable with it. Again, it's designed for mobile. There is a desktop. I'm showing you the desktop because I did a screenshot, but it really is, there's the mobile app is different than the desktop app. So you want to kind of think about how you're going to best use it. This is for Shasta Economic Development Corporation. It's a public-private partnership in Shasta County on economic development. I really like their Twitter handle. They have a beautiful profile up there. They have their logo. They have their handle at Shasta EDC. That's how you're tagged. And then in there, they have their location. They can put in their link to their website. It says when they're joined, how many people are following, how many followers they have. And then there's an example of one of their tweets. A tweet is what we call that in Twitter. Did you know it's cheaper than, this is when they're really promoting the new flights that were coming into the airport, right? And so they were really pushing out a lot of information about that new opportunity that is welcomed to Redding, to Shasta County. So private direct messages, there's the ability to advertise, you can get customer feedback. There's Twitter list that you can go on, which then you can follow other Twitter handles that may be relative to your industry. You retweet things a lot. So you can tweet out yourself, you can retweet someone else's tweet that will go to your followers. You can then share media, and then you can like tweets. And all of that sits on your Twitter handle, and your followers then can go to your handle and dig down into seeing what you've liked and if they've liked that. So what do you share? News about your destination or your business, informational content, videos are huge, content that aligns with trending hashtags, product and service highlights. Okay, moving on. LinkedIn. I'm a big push for having I think in addition to a social media platform for your business, you also want to have a professional personal profile on LinkedIn. It is a powerful business networking, professional social media platform. Now, people think that LinkedIn is just if you're looking for a job or you're looking for employees. Yes, that is one of their powerful tools and outcomes, but it's so much more than that. It launched in 2022 to help business professionals network and connect. During the pandemic, this was one of the only ways that a lot of businesses could come together and network with each other, especially if you're a business to business, your business is a business to business kind of venture. I'm just reading what some of my other notes here are. Huge following. 57% of users access LinkedIn via their mobile device. This is the desktop version here. And in your own personal profile, you want to build out all of those opportunities that are available for your personal profile, your experience, your expertise, your awards, your email. And then for company, if you want to then do a company page, because you can have a personal profile, and that is all about you personally and all of your colleagues and you personally as the business owner or the employee of a business or the executive director of an organization. Then you can also host a company page. And the company page is all about the company. It has a little less dynamics than the personal profile does, your personal profile, your professional profile. But you can have company information. You can actually write articles. You can post PDFs. It's one of the few social media platforms that let you do that. You can even share PowerPoint presentations. You can belong to LinkedIn groups. You can have your own LinkedIn group. You should showcase pages, which means if you're a business like Nike and you have a lot of different categories, like you have Nike shoes, Nike, apparel, you can have showcase pages that fit under your brand. You can have LinkedIn ads, and there's analytics. What do you share? Share with, start with your profiles, really build your profile out. Then blog posts can be shared on your company page, industry news and research, in-depth how-to and list style posts, quick tips, photo updates, company updates, showcasing your employees, shout outs to other colleagues that are in your industry. I share a lot on my company page from other industry trends that are relative to I got to remember my company page, who's on my company page. They're probably the same people that are in my personal profile. So I may share it on both because my clients are also my colleagues, are also following me personally. I've worked with them. I find that when we had the recession in 2008, a lot of colleagues, a lot of my network that I, did work for, whether it was a city manager or a redevelopment professional or somebody that was an executive director for a chamber, there was a lot of people moving around and I lost track of where they went. So I spent a couple weeks going back and making sure I had connected with them. Did I have their most update information? Let them know I was still working. So, you can use your LinkedIn in that fashion. Google My Business must be on this. It is, you wonder, how do those businesses, when I'm searching for a florist, how do they pop up? Well, they're on Google My Business. And David, is Zach going to talk about that next week at all?
Yes, he actually is. He's going to
Okay,
get into that a little
great.
bit.
Then I'm just going to touch, the surface here. This is another place that at no cost to you gives you the ability to have internet presence. Google is a powerful search engine, as we all know. They'd probably like to rule the world if they could. But if you are any type of business that has a storefront or a physical location, should be on Google My Business, as well as there are now options for professional and service-based businesses, and he's going to talk about that. And this is an example of, I just Googled florist in Shasta County, California, and this is what popped up. And there's a lot of florists, didn't know. And I just chose Anderson Florists and Gifts to show you kind of how they've built out their Google My Business presence, and that has reviews. Also, at the start of the pandemic, Google in My Business made some additions. You could actually have your icons, your social media icons on there. They gave you the ability to be temporary closed or closed. You have always had the ability to put lots of photos on there. So again, very, very important piece in the digital world for promoting and marketing your business and your services. YouTube channel. Gotta love a YouTube channel. Now, YouTube channels, most people think, yeah, I got a YouTube channel. I've been watching those funny commercials and the DIY, do it yourself, DIYs. I'm not a YouTube channel user. I don't go on there and try to dig down. Now, sometimes I will if I'm looking for an example, right, to use in one of my webinars. But YouTube has a way to be able to have a branded YouTube channel for your business. Now, we have one, Shasta-Cascade Small Business Development Center. It'll be on our last slide. And like David said before, all of our webinars sit there. So if you are looking for other areas to help your business grow and thrive, you could go on our YouTube channel and see. You could find out about the type of organizational structures. Should I be a sole proprietor, a LLC, a limited liability corporation, an S Corp? And we have a webinar on that. So you can take it, you can watch it at your leisure, right? So as a business owner, you have the ability to have your videos then uploaded and sit on your own branded YouTube channel, and then be able to push it out, have a link, and post it in other places, whether it's on your website, whether you link it on your social media platforms, whether you're going to put it in your email marketing. This is an example of one of my clients, the Weaverville Chamber, and I manage their back end of their, and I'm using this because you can see the back end of the YouTube channel. Only you can see that if it's your branded YouTube channel. And you have the ability to customize it, add your website, your social media platform, here this banner. And it's another place where a lot of your videos, and if you're doing any type of webinars, if you're doing some educational forums, if you're putting on any DIYs, little clips, then you might want a YouTube channel. These are the features. And then you can, on your playlist, you can build out your playlist, you can build out your actual videos, you can edit them, you can actually advertise on YouTube. So again, it's another social media platform for you to use for your own business, and see if that is something that your users, your primary market is wanting to, get in front of. I don't see it. Sorry about that, guys. Didn't turn my phone off. I don't see it as often. I don't see a lot of as many businesses as I think could use this, as much as I would think they would. Again, a place for you to store your videos. You can upload all your videos. You can actually create live with YouTube. Review sites. I think this is the last one of the digital, and then we'll move into, I'll have a time for questions. All kinds of review sites out there. You got to use them, folks. I can't tell you, I watch consumers left and right, whether it's my daughters, whether it's my husband, whether it's myself. I don't use them to make as many decisions, but oh boy, the folks that have grown up with digital marketing, grown up with social media, if you don't have a review site and you don't have, so many stars, you're kind of not a business. They're not going to even, think about making a decision. Now, when we talk about referrals, this is where you have to ask for reviews, for recommendations in LinkedIn. So my one daughter who has a business, she actually actively goes after they conduct their service. She will actually ask for a review. She sometimes videotapes them, puts it up as content, has it sitting on her website across all the social media platforms, and uses it. These are examples. I just really like Diamond Star Painting. They have 44 reviews. This is on their site, I believe. And then over here is Yelp. This is restaurants near Anderson. Yelp is very common for hotels, for restaurants. TripAdvisor is for hotels also. You can have reviews on your Facebook page, on Instagram, all kinds of different reviews, but you have to ask for them. And then it also gives you additional content to use to repackage and share out there. Let's see, let me go back here. Oh yeah, call us today. I love this on their website. They have the little Google up here on the right-hand side corner. There's a little Google My Place. They show the map, and then they also have a link to their Yelp site. Here is what recommendations look like on your LinkedIn. This is a colleague of mine, Nina. She has the recommendations. Again, you ask for the recommendations, they send it to you, then you have the ability to post it or not. On LinkedIn, it is not an automatic fill. It is okay, it's a nice recommendation. I guess I'll put this on my site. If it's not nice and it's mean, or it's like, ooh, I didn't know they thought that I didn't do a good job, you got some customer service issues to deal with. And then over here on this side, this is just an infographic that I pulled down about review websites and how Alexa ranks them and what business they're good for, and then the traffic. So it kind of goes through Amazon, Facebook, Yelp, TripAdvisor, Better Business Bureau, still out there. Yellow Pages, oh my, is it still out there? Angie's List, which I think has a new name, which is primarily service-based businesses, and then Foursquare. If I am asked, and I am never asked, but sometimes when they're using Foursquare and I get the email receipt back, the little smiley faces, give me a review, I always answer reviews, always, but I'm rarely asked. So think about that in your strategy. Build up your reviews, your stars. Don't be afraid if you get a bad one. If it's a bad one, it's one that's not as positive. I don't want to say bad, maybe not positive. Maybe that's something you need to look at. What happened in that situation? Maybe it was a crabby customer and they just were having a bad day, and no matter what you did, they weren't happy. And so it's that. If it was something like, oh gosh, I didn't know they couldn't get their garage door clicker working, I guess I better call them back and see what the problem is. Because sometimes customers won't call you. They're too embarrassed, or they just are not going to call you, and it gives you an opportunity to kind of deal with the customer service issue. Whew, David, I'm whipping through this.
We do have a question here. Can you touch on accessibility concerns for social media platforms?
Accessibility, what do you mean?
Accessibility. So I'm assuming being able to access the platform, particular, perhaps if you're in a rural area, I would imagine.
Oh.
Or if you were, I don't know.
Yeah,
if you're still using
Wi-Fi.
AOL dial-up.
Yeah, AOL dial-up. Yeah. well, that is an issue. And we still have it. I even have it here in the metropolitan area where I live. I have slow Wi-Fi. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm paying for the cheapest. Yeah, if you are wanting to use it as one of your main promotional marketing, you do have to have an updated. You do need to have the updated equipment, a camera for, you need to have some kind of smartphone that can take really good pictures, the ability to, download those over to your computer, and the accessibility. That's why you want to think about, okay, can I balance it also with having more of a traditional print or traditional marketing? If I'm in a very limited rural area and I'm stuck up in the woods and my Wi-Fi is glitchy, so I'm not always sure my post, you may need to travel down, take it all down to some place where you can have better Wi-Fi. Or you invest in a hotspot on your phone, your mobile phone, and you take it down where you have a really good connection and work on it there. I'm hoping that's answering the question.
Okay. Yeah, that's all we have at the moment.
Okay. We may get done early today, folks. You won't have to sit here and listen to me for 2 hours. But we're not done yet, so let's go. Okay, I know that Zach is going to talk about website and SEO next week. He is our website guy. And I just wanted to kind of talk about it in the realm of how you use this powerful digital marketing tool for your business. It is fundamentally required, in my opinion, to support your digital marketing strategy. There used to be, even several years ago, reasons why you could not afford having a website. Those days are gone, long gone. They're very affordable now. What is hard or what takes time is building your site in terms of content. So there's sites out there now that you can get a free website or at a very limited hosting fee, and it gives you templates, right? Fill in the language, upload the photos. It takes you thinking that through, kind of creating your storyboard. But you really want to think about your web presence, your URL, that this is a place that people, it's a one-way street, right? Social media is two-way. It's every day. It's dialogue with your customers. They post, you post, they share, they comment. You can kind of, have a conversation with them, like digitally. Websites, it's really more of a one-way. And that is why you want to think about your website really being the gateway to your business, a place where you can develop more about your business, more narrative, showcase your employees. It sits there. It can be more static. If you are using your website as this individual over here is, and she's also using it as her e-commerce site to sell her products, then it's a much more interactive. It gives the ability for people to come to her website and purchase products and services. But all of your marketing should eventually drive customers to land at your site to take action. So you want to think about your website as, okay, if I get them there, then what do I want them to do? Do I want them to call? Do we want them to fill out a pop-up to get an email newsletter or an email thank you, get their email captured so I can then communicate back to them? Do I want to lead them over to make some purchasing decisions on maybe products I have on my website, or a drop down about my services? So that is, your website is that kind of place that then you have you own it. You own that real estate. You own that URL, unless you don't renew it and you lose it, which hopefully you don't ever do that. I've had a client who did that. It was not nice. It was ugly, messy. We had to do everything. I actually lost my website once because I wasn't paying attention that it was so old that the new software that my host was going to need, I needed to buy, and I didn't buy it, and I'm glad I didn't. It was going to be like $800, and I ended up having to rebuild my own personal website, for my business. So lesson learned, right? But I own that. Unlike social media platforms, they can really take it down at any time. Not that they will, very rarely for us business owners, but you own that site, you build it. You can update content regularly if you need to. If you don't need to, you're using more your social media platforms for that everyday kind of content generation. But you could create a simple FAQ page about your new policies. Your site should be mobile friendly. You want to make sure that whatever site you use, that you are mobile friendly, that you look at it and it can be on a mobile, and that all your links work and all your contact information is accurate. So this is just a kind of a high level about a website, about a web presence with a website. Okay, I'm going to talk about email marketing for the last few minutes here, the last probably 15 minutes. Email marketing is one of the most popular types of digital marketing. It has really been leveraged a lot in the last couple of years, especially during the first March 2020 through the first, 2020, all the way to the year. And it was the one effective way, if you had an email marketing campaign or you had people's emails to stay in contact with them, and to communicate how you were pivoting your business. Now I'm seeing, now that we're coming back more on in person, events are happening a little bit, kind of, start and go. I'm seeing less email marketing by independent businesses, but it's still, a very powerful tool. It is most used by businesses to promote content, discounts, and events, as well as direct people to your business website. It's a form that sends out that information directly to your mailing list inboxes. I never want to hear from any business owner, whether they're a client of mine or not, well, I don't like that, getting all those emails, so I haven't done email marketing because I just know I don't like to get them, and I know my customers won't like to get them. You have to not have that mindset. You cannot make decisions about how your customers are going to feel about email marketing, emails in their email box. If you are collecting emails and you are promising that something's going to be delivered when you're capturing that email, then you need to deliver something. Whether it's a thank you for dropping in and doing business through a personal email through your company, like, a company email that goes directly to them personally, or you're actually using some type of email program. But capturing emails is the first step. And then you use it to keep your customers informed about all kinds of things. And I like to think about it for a for-profit business. You could do one once a month. You have enough going on in your business that you could push out some kind of email marketing piece to your email list once a month, whether it's showcasing a couple of your products, talking about, community events that are happening in your area, maybe your hours, a new improvement in your business, some kind of promotion. It kind of forces you to think about, okay, what am I doing next month? What kind of holiday is coming up or event that is coming up? What do I want to really do next month in my business to drive sales? And I'm going to create this promotion through my email marketing to market back to that customer base that has chosen to give me their emails. For organizations and nonprofits, I like to think about it in a email kind of newsletter once a quarter, you know, kind of designing it in buckets. Businesses, you could do an e-newsletter too. You could design an e-newsletter that once every quarter. I have my CPA comes out twice a year with an email campaign, email marketing promotion. And it lists all of the updated, you know, things that are going to be different in our tax year. And she sends out one for me as a business owner, and then she sends one out for me as personal, because my personal tax ramifications are different than my business ramifications. And it is the most valuable thing that I get from her outside of her doing my taxes. And we pay for that, right? But it justifies the amount that I pay her to educate me about what changes are there, how do I take advantage of them, do I qualify for them? That one email drops in, and it you know, counts for the value of her fee. So when you think about email marketing, this is an example of Trinity County Arts Council. They're up in Trinity County, and they do a lot of events. They do a monthly art walk. They are always pushing out information about grants for artists, and they have a very nice, you know, email program that they send out, and it goes out to their 1,000 email blasts, email addresses that they have. So how do you build your email list? Well, you could set up a pre-launch page on your website. You can collect emails from sales and customer accounts. It's my understanding if you use a lot of like QuickBooks, or you're using some of the point of sale, that you can ask for emails. You have to ask for them. If you're making a sale, whether it's e-commerce based or in person, ask for it. And I have a client who has a little business card that she says, I'm collecting emails because I'm sending out you know, pre-sale information, new products, new pieces of art that I give. Could you fill it out, and I'll add you to my list. She has a big fishbowl full of business cards that she's been collecting. Now the rest of the story is she's got to do something with them, right? This is an example over here of Ace Hardware, and they actually get exclusive offers and expert tips by joining their rewards. It gives their email. Often there is that little bit extra push of being a kind of, okay, I'm going to get something special, right? Accelerate signups with lead magnets, offer exclusive deals, run sweepstakes, access to educational content, and like I just said, ask for emails in person. You never want to purchase an email list. Not a good idea, because you could be spammed, or they can figure you purchased it, and you'll lose your email program. One of the advantages that I would say to look for, like if you're going to participate in a trade show, or you're going to have an ad in a digital piece or a printed piece, often they will send you the emails of the folks that have registered for that event. If they have it set up so that when people register for the event and they have the disclaimer that this will be shared with our vendors, then that's what they're going to do. There's a large national association. I belong to, the National Main Street, and they have a national conference. And if you're a vendor and you pay quite a bit to have booth space, it says there you're going to receive a list 1 week prior to the event happening of the emails of the folks that have registered. So you could send out an email to them to stop by your booth and check out your services. So that's one way you can also build your email list. What are the types of campaigns to consider? Really? the sky's the limit. A newsletter, which I suggested. The best practices for a newsletter, that would be like, think about it consistently. Use a familiar from name when you send it out. So it's not some kind of wacky, like, who is this from? It's your business name, right? Break your newsletter into chunks. So it's easy to kind of think about, maybe you have a blog post that you're repackaging, and it's, tips from the owner. Then you have a section on the new products, trends in 2022, community events happening in the near region, highlighting an employee of the month, a picture of the new improvements that you've done, inviting folks to come back. When you are using emails and you're using advantage of a third-party program like Constant Contact or MailChimp, is you can segment them. You can segment how you got those emails. So if you got the emails at a trade association and you had a booth, then you could say this was at the National Trust or the National Main Street Convention in March of 2021. And then you may want to send that an announcement that you're going to be at the conference in 2022 just to that group of emails. So you can segment it. Always compelling images and visuals for each piece of content. And then you also want to make sure that you have a call for action button on each content piece, and you've buried into your content, whether it's in the photos or in your narrative, links, because click-throughs are what you're looking for. So if you're wanting to drive them in your email, you want to drive them over to your website, you want to include that. If you want to drive them to a place where they can learn more about a specific product, and you have that email, that website embedded in that photo, that's where it's going to lead them. So you want to make sure all those links work and proof it. A marketing offer. The advantage to using some of the type of programs that are housed like a third-party program where you can access it, this would be maybe if you're in a rural area, and accessibility is again a problem because you have limited Wi-Fi, that you would want to then maybe have a third-party program, MailChimp, or let's say Constant Contact, that you then have enough broadband or internet power that you could then, Wi-Fi power, that you could go into that program and actually work on it, but it's sitting out, or you're going down, to another place, or you have an employee that's working at it because maybe they're located in an area that has better Wi-Fi, they have access to it, they have the password, they could go in and develop the offer and send it out. So there are advantages. It doesn't sit physically on your hard drive. I've lost a hard drive twice. You lose everything. Sometimes you retrieve it, but I never lost all my emails that were sitting in my email MailChimp account. And so it's sitting outside there, and then you access it through like you do social, like Facebook. Event announcements, order and shipping confirmations are used. Customer feedback emails, you can send that out. Seasonal promotions, welcome emails, second order emails, thank you emails. Again, anything that you develop within your marketing strategy for that you think you can do, again, using this tool is at your fingertips. The third-party programs have lots of templates that you can drop your information in. So tips: send more than one promotional content. Company information like career opportunities, press featuring your company, awards received, new services, behind the scenes content, product updates, information on how-to content, value-driven content, like maybe you want to send out some infographics, industry studies. I know I just received something from a industry that I follow in their newsletter, their e-newsletter, and it was like 10 trends to follow for 2022 in retail. Well, that's really key to me. I do a lot of workshops. I repackage that out on my Facebook page on some And I'm finding that was really valuable because I subscribe to their e-newsletter. I get it in my email box. I look at it. I either save it or I dump it, or I unsubscribe. You always want to have that language that gives the ability for people to unscribe. That's their choice. People focus content to humanize your brand, like hire bios, executive interviews, testimonials, support information like FAQ updates, case studies, success stories, event information for your community and corporation. You always want to use images and visuals to boost engagement. When you look at the back end of your email program, you will see how many click-throughs you had. Open rate that's how you measure your ROI. Open rate of 20% is fabulous. Click-throughs, how many links did they click through? How many bounces did you have? How many people unscribed? So, you can track all that ROI for all the time it takes to create your email newsletter or your email promotional item. Once you get your branded piece done with your header and your footer, then dropping in different content is easier. It's setting it up, getting your brand over there, getting your colors, making sure all the language is right, your links work. That can take a while, but it is well worth it, trust me. Ensure your campaigns are aligned with your marketing. Personalize your email and structure. Strategically time your campaigns. How often and what time are important. And then measuring. And then for those who just need some ideas about emailing, here is, again, a resource for you that you will get. Sorry, my little computer came unplugged here. Technical issues. This gives you 50 content ideas. So you can link on there and give you some ideas if you can't think of it enough yourself. Whew, David, I outdid myself this time.
We do have a question here. When building a newer business, do you believe contests and giveaways, both over social media and in person, should play a role in building a new client basis? My wife and I are planning on doing both online sales and smaller crafting events for our business, Soul Blessed. And is there a way to obtain a copy of last week's seminar? Well, I'll tell you what, it's on YouTube. You can find it on our YouTube channel, and you'll have a link to that. And yes, the slides will be emailed. So go ahead, Lani.
Okay. Hi, Dennis. I'm looking at the chat, so I see that that question's there. That's a big question. I think about the contest and giveaways. I believe they are an effective way to build and capture emails to get attention. Where and how you're going to promote it. If you are at a smaller crafting event and you're going to be in front of those folks and you can see and they're very interested in your products, then that would be where I would start with the giveaway, because you can then see that, yes, these folks that I'm capturing the emails from are really those who are interested. It's not just, somebody who wants the free giveaway. I would start there and see how they work for you, because then you can move to your social media. You can promote that you're going to be at this craft event, stop by our booth and sign up for our giveaway. Here's what we're giving away. That's how I would push it out through social media, but then drive them to your booth to then sign up and actually, physically be there, because then they have to stop by. Right. And then you can also have the giveaway for those folks that are just coming and saying, go by your booth and go, oh, you have the giveaway. Yeah. And that'd be great if you would like to sign up, and we'll be drawing the giveaway at the end of today. You need your email. When you don't have to be present for it. And if you are the one that I draw you're the winner, I'll contact you. So that's what I would recommend.
Okay. I don't see any more at the moment, but I will note, let everybody know in the chat, I put in a link to a survey. We really appreciate your feedback, and this is your opportunity to give it to us. We're thick-skinned, we can take it. It helps us improve these webinars, and it also helps us with our funders, because we are a nonprofit. And the fact that you guys provide feedback to us via these surveys actually proves to them that we actually did the webinar.
Yeah.
And earned the money that they invested in us. Go ahead, Lani.
I see there is another question from
Okay.
Eva. She wants to ask her customers to send photos of my product in their home to use in email marketing or social media. Do I need some kind of release form? My understanding, and I'm not a lawyer or anybody legal. Remember that disclaimer, Eva, that we said in the beginning. My understanding, if there are no children, I think the sensitivity comes with faces and children, but user-generated content, you can ask them to tag your business, and then you can, or you can email them and say, by responding to this email, you give me release to use the photo. I think if you're emailing back to your customer and asking them, that's the release. I would just be very careful of using that you haven't, especially if it has children in it.
Yeah, there's there's going to be or there should be a privacy policy and terms of use for your for using your platform, for having them submit things, photos of your product, and you'd want to make sure that it's that you do have their permission, just in case. Whether or not it's legally required, even if we did know, we couldn't say because we're not attorneys.
Yeah, and you might want to dig down into your social media and email programs, policies and procedures, or policies. A lot of times they have that privacy language in there, and people that are then posting photos or sharing content. I know on Instagram, there's a lot of user shared content, so it might be buried in those programs' actual release of photos that are on their own platform. So, okay. I'm going to move on to the next slide, David.
Okay. That's a great slide.
You want me to do this one?
Oh, I can. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and do it?
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay, great. So what's your next steps? If you are located in Shasta or Trinity County and are interested in some of our services for the one-to-one individual, no cost, confidential consulting with a business advisor, whether it's myself for marketing, David for general business, Zach, who you're going to enjoy thoroughly next Thursday at 9 o'clock on SEO and website, then you can contact Emily by either calling, her number is right there, or her email directly. And she will do a kind of an intake form if you're a new client, learn more about your business, where you're at, and make sure you're aligned with the right advisor. And if you are not located in Shasta or Trinity County, you can link on the next link there, and you can americasbdc.org and find one that's close to you. They're across the United States, and there's one in almost every region, and you can call them up. They probably offer similar type of services and go from there. Of course, we want you to follow our Facebook page, because we have a great Facebook page. Emily is our marketing guru who does a fabulous job sending out content. We have a Twitter handle. We are on LinkedIn. We have a YouTube. And I believe on our website, that if it pops up, they can sign up for our e-newsletter. David, is that where they sign up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I would strongly suggest that you do that, whether you want to be a client of ours or not. And you can then she sends it out, I'd say almost twice a month. We sent out a lot during the pandemic that included a lot of information on funding opportunities through the SBA, our upcoming webinars, things that are happening in the region in terms of any kind of programming or additional capital. I think you have a couple webinars coming up on capital. So you would probably want to really sign up for that newsletter and look and be part of that, because it's I believe it's very informational. Anything you want to add, David?
No, apparently we need to eat meat because of North Country Butchers. Apparently that's important.
I like that. That was cute. That was like I think his little tagline, eat meat. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing then, I guess.
Okay.
And I want to thank you for hosting this and thank everybody for joining us. We're done a little bit early, which is never a bad thing. Give everybody an opportunity to go have lunch soon. And
okay, well, we will be, and we will, just a reminder, we'll be sending you a link to the YouTube for this video, to the YouTube. I sound like I'm 64 years old, don't I? A link to the video, and we'll be sending you copies of the slides. When you see the link to this particular presentation, you'll be on our YouTube site, and you'll be able to find all the other things. We have something like 200 videos on there. Not all of them are 2 hours long. We have NorCal Minutes, which are only very short little snippets of sage business wisdom coming from people like Lani and our other advisors. So thank you for joining us. We'll stop the recording. I've got your email addresses. I got yours too, Kevin. Thanks. And I got from the iPhone, the gentleman from the iPhone. So yeah, thanks. And we'll talk soon. Take care, everybody.
have a great rest of your week.